What is it that divides the names etched in history from those that fade into silence? What allows a few rare souls to rise above the ocean of mediocrity and claim their place among the remarkable? Sooner or later, every one of us comes face to face with this very question. There comes a moment when you stand in the mirror of your own existence and ask yourself, haven't I been stuck here long enough? Think about it. How many years have you spent drowning in hesitation, shackled by self-doubt, trapped by fear, and lost in endless comparison with others? How long have you sat in the shadows of confusion, unsure of what tomorrow might bring, but still pretending there's all the time in the world? Haven't you spent enough nights burdened by depression? Haven't you walked long enough with emptiness in your pockets and weariness in your spirit? Haven't you already carried the wounds of disappointment, the fractures of broken dreams, and the sting of rejection long enough? You tell yourself there's more time. You whisper that tomorrow will be better, that another chance will come. But I am here right now to sound the alarm in your soul. Tomorrow is not promised. The clock does not wait. Life does not extend credit. You are here in this moment, and this moment alone is your proof that you are still chosen, still called, still capable of breaking free. There's someone listening who already feels the fire burning inside. Someone who knows deep down that they cannot remain where they are. Someone who is ready, finally ready, to make the decision to rise, to break away from the herd, to walk a different path. If that is you, consider this my personal invitation to step out of the gray fog of average and step into the rare company of the 1%. And make no mistake, this has nothing to do with the money in your bank account, the title on your business card, or the badge of status you wear for others to see. No, this is about something far deeper. This is about the person you are becoming. This is about shaping a mind that refuses to bend to ordinary. Picture yourself standing in front of a mirror, not just a piece of glass, but a reflection of the truth. Wipe the blood from your eyes, push aside the haze of excuses, and dare to say it aloud. I can see clearly now. You are not some fragile imitation of greatness. You are not meant to bow to the curse of ordinary living. You carry greatness in your very being. You have a destiny woven into your DNA. You are here with places to reach, people to influence, battles to fight, and victories to claim. You have work to do, and the time to begin is not tomorrow, it is now. This is the dividing line, the separation between the many and the few. The question is simple. Can you do what no one in your family line has ever had the courage to do? Can you stand in the face of setbacks and still keep walking? Can you confront failure, disappointment, and loss and still refuse to bow? Are you bold enough to build something from the ground up, to start with nothing but vision and to shape it piece by piece until the world has no choice but to recognize it? That is what makes the difference. The world doesn't hand out seats at the table of history. You have to walk into the room with authority, with presence, with resilience. And when you sit down, you do it with the knowledge that you belong there because you refuse to quit when everyone else surrendered. Look beyond the scars. Look beyond the pain. Look past the voices that swore you'd never rise again. Can you still believe? Can you still believe that the dream etched in your mind can one day live in your hands? Can you believe that the vision you see in your heart is not just fantasy, but reality waiting for your discipline, your courage, your persistence to unlock it? Many people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack sight. They cannot see the value of where they are destined to go. They are chained to the past, anchored by betrayal, weighed down by rejection, poisoned by anger, suffocated by regret. They let the mistakes of yesterday blind them to the possibilities of tomorrow. But I'm asking you today, will you see beyond that? Will you dare to see beyond the failures, beyond the brokenness, beyond the arguments, beyond the abandonment? This is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Vision. Not just sight, but a new vision, a lens that cuts through fear and reveals possibility. You cannot rise into the top 1% if your eyes remain closed to what is ahead. You need understanding. You need clarity. You need to look at yourself and say, I may not know everything, but I'm humble enough to learn, and I'm hungry enough to keep going. This is the posture of those who make history. They are not casual dreamers. They are relentless pursuers. They do not bow to the demons that haunted their parents or their families. They fight them until the chains are shattered. They choose optimism when the world offers despair. They choose growth when comfort whispers to stay still. They choose humility, not weakness, but strength wrapped in wisdom, knowing that there is always more to learn. So let me ask you again, what is your mission? What vision drives you? Why are you here? Because without hunger, without unshakable drive, without relentless pursuit, you will starve in the land of mediocrity. It is hunger that fuels you. It is drive that keeps you alive when others have already quit. And here's the truth. You wouldn't have made it this far. You wouldn't still be listening if you weren't meant to be part of the 1%. The fact that you are here proves that you are not average. It proves that something inside of you is unwilling to die quietly. What separates legends from the masses is not luck. It is resilience. It is grit. It is the refusal to bow. It is the courage to say, I will not settle. I will not stop. I will not surrender. The ones who change history are not those who avoided pain, but those who saw pain as the price of progress. They are not those who waited for opportunity, but those who created opportunity. They did not hide in comfort zones, but walked boldly into discomfort, knowing that discomfort is the birthplace of destiny. This is where you begin. Here, now, in this very moment, you must decide enough is enough. Enough fear, enough doubt, enough hesitation, enough average. Today, you separate yourself. Today, you break free from the chains of ordinary. Because deep inside, you already know the truth. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to stand out. You were created to lead, to inspire, to build, to overcome. You are called to rise. And it all begins with one choice. The choice to no longer accept the life you've been settling for. The choice to rise above the crowd. The choice to become who you were always meant to be. This is your moment. This is your invitation. Step out, step up, break free. If you want to rise above the average, you must first learn to see beyond the fog that surrounds you. The majority of people stumble not because they lack strength, but because they lack sight. They walk through life with their eyes fixed on the wreckage of yesterday, blind to the potential of tomorrow. And until you lift your gaze, you will remain chained to the shadows of the past. Think about how many times betrayal has tried to blind you. Think about the nights when rejection screamed so loudly that you could not hear the whispers of hope. Consider the rage, the anger, the confusion that clouded your mind when people misunderstood you or when you misunderstood yourself. Remember the mistakes that you made and the voices that wrote you off as if your story was finished? Those experiences are real, but they are not final. The question is, can you see past them? Average people allow betrayal to define them. The extraordinary allow betrayal to refine them. Ordinary people stop at rejection. The remarkable use rejection as redirection. The crowd wallows in failure, but the 1% learns from it and rises stronger. The dividing line between ordinary and extraordinary is vision. Clear, unshakable vision. Not just the ability to look at what is directly in front of you, but the courage to imagine what lies beyond it. You cannot live as part of the rare few if you remain anchored in yesterday's pain. You must decide to release the grip of the past so that your hands are free to build the future. And understand this, vision is not just about what you see with your physical eyes. It is about the picture you hold in your mind and the belief you carry in your spirit. When you can look at a broken season and still see restoration ahead, that is vision. When you can stand in the middle of chaos and still imagine peace, that is vision. When you can look at emptiness and still see abundance, that is vision. The 1% live by vision. They understand that without a target, every step is wasted. Without clarity, every effort is scattered. You cannot afford to wander aimlessly through life, hoping that greatness will somehow stumble into your path. You must decide what you see, what you believe, and where you are going. And here's the reality. Vision will cost you. It will demand that you confront the shadows in your own bloodline. It will force you to battle the demons that haunted your parents, your grandparents, and generations before you. If they lived in fear, you must break that cycle. If they bowed to addiction, you must conquer it. If they surrendered to despair, you must become the one who stands. Vision is not free. It demands a fight. But the reward is worth it, because vision is what lifts you out of the crowd. Vision is what allows you to keep moving when everything around you says stop. Vision is what drives you to build when others are content to consume. Vision is what transforms one-hit wonders into history makers. And vision alone is not enough. You must pair it with obsession. You must develop a relentless focus on your mission. You cannot casually approach destiny. The 1% are not lukewarm. They are consumed by purpose. They are awake when others sleep. They are working while others complain. And they are building while others are tearing down. So ask yourself, what is my mission? Why was I born in this time, in this place, with these gifts? Why do I feel this burning inside that will not let me rest? Until you answer those questions, you will drift. But when you find your why, you become dangerous. This hunger, this drive, this refusal to quit, it separates those who leave a dent in the universe from those who pass unnoticed. The 1% know that without hunger, nothing changes. Without fire in your belly, you will starve in a world that demands everything from you. And yet hunger must be partnered with humility. The legends of history were not arrogant fools who thought they knew it all. They were humble enough to remain students no matter how high they climbed. They admitted they did not have all the answers, but they refused to stop searching. They confessed their weaknesses, but they strengthened their resolve. They said, I may not know it all, but I am willing to learn it all. That combination, humility and hunger, is unstoppable. Hunger keeps you moving. Humility keeps you grounded. Hunger drives you forward. Humility reminds you that there is always more to grow into. Hunger makes you bold. Humility makes you wise. Together, they form the core of the 1%. Now listen to me. Life will test your vision. It will not hand you destiny on a silver platter. It will throw obstacles in your way, storms that shake your faith, trials that test your patience. But you must refuse to surrender. You must see challenges not as enemies, but as training. Every difficulty is sharpening you, chiseling away weakness, and shaping you into someone stronger. The 1% do not crumble when plans collapse. They adapt, they pivot, they learn. While the crowd panics, the rare few recalibrate. They refuse to drown in despair because they know that vision is stronger than circumstance. So I ask you, can you see past the pain? Can you see beyond the rejection? Can you believe in a future that is brighter than your past? Because if you can't see it, you will never step into it. But if you can see it, you can chase it. And if you chase it long enough, you can seize it. Vision is the seed of greatness. Hunger is the water. Discipline is the soil. And humility is the sunlight that allows it to grow. Put these together and nothing can stop you. So make the decision today. Stop staring at the scars. Stop staring at the wounds. Stop living in the prison of the past. Lift your eyes. Dare to dream again. Dare to see again. Dare to believe again. Because when you do, you will discover what the masses will never understand. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what you see in front of you. You are not trapped by where you've been. You are propelled by where you are going. And if you can hold the vision in your heart long enough,
if you can protect it from the doubts and distractions of the world, if you can feed it with discipline, passion, and faith, one day you will hold it in your hands. That is the promise. That is the difference. That is the power of vision beyond the darkness.
What truly separates the dreamer from the achiever? What makes the line between the common and the legendary so impossible to cross for most? It is not talent alone. It is not luck. It is not even intelligence. What separates them is drive, the relentless pursuit of a goal that consumes every fiber of your being. Drive is not a casual desire. Drive is not wishing for something when it is convenient. Drive is hunger that will not let you rest. Drive is a fire that burns, even when the winds of failure try to blow it out. It is the steady rhythm of action, again and again, even when the results are invisible. The 1% live by this fire. They know that greatness does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who refuse to stop moving. It comes to those who press forward when the weight of life tries to crush them. It comes to those who keep building even when the bricks in their hands feel too heavy. Average people work when it feels good. The rare ones work until the job is finished. Average people quit when it gets hard. The rare ones get harder when life gets harder. Average people let their emotions dictate their actions. The rare ones let their mission dictate their emotions. You cannot join the ranks of the extraordinary without this drive. Talent will open doors, but only drive will keep them open. Luck may give you an opportunity, but only relentless pursuit will allow you to hold it. Drive is what turns possibility into reality. So let me speak plainly. Without hunger, you will starve in this life. Without fire, you will freeze in mediocrity. Without relentless drive, you will spend your years wondering why nothing ever changed. The 1% understand this truth. If you want to eat, you must hunt. If you want to reap, you must sow. If you want to win, you must fight. There are no shortcuts, there are no handouts, there are no easy passes. Drive is the price you pay for greatness. But what does relentless drive look like? It looks like waking up earlier than your excuses. It looks like pushing yourself past the limits you thought were unbreakable. It looks like sacrificing comfort for the sake of destiny. It looks like saying no to distractions and yes to discipline. It looks like refusing to quit no matter how many times life knocks you down. Drive is not glamorous. It is not always loud. It is often quiet, hidden in the long nights when nobody is watching, in the sacrifices that nobody applauds, in the choices that nobody celebrates. Drive is forged in private long before it is rewarded in public. This is why the process matters more than the prize, because who you are becoming is greater than what you are achieving. The 1% understand that the journey shapes them into someone who cannot be broken, even if the outcome takes longer than expected. And let me tell you this, pain will always be part of the process. Drive is not proven when everything is easy. Drive is proven when everything hurts, when your muscles ache, when your heart is heavy, when your spirit feels crushed. That is when drive rises. That is when the fire inside whispers, keep going. You will face setbacks. You will face rejection. You will face nights of doubt and days of despair. But if the fire of drive is alive in you, those obstacles will not end you. They will fuel you. Every setback becomes a setup for growth. Every rejection becomes redirection. Every failure becomes a teacher. The 1% do not see problems the way others do. Where the crowd sees defeat, the extraordinary see development. Where most stop, the 1% begin again. This mindset, this relentless drive, is what allows legends to emerge. They are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who kept getting up. They are not the ones who never cried. They are the ones who wiped their tears and kept walking. They are not the ones who never bled. They are the ones who turned their blood into fuel. Drive means you refuse to settle.
It means you refuse to shrink back into the comfort zone where nothing grows. It means you are willing to be uncomfortable, to be stretched, to be tested, because you know that only through discomfort does growth come. Let me ask you directly, how badly do you want it? How much are you willing to pay for the life you say you desire? Because it will cost you. It will cost your comfort. It will cost your excuses that keep you average. It will cost you the approval of people who are too afraid to chase their own dreams. But what you gain will be beyond anything you can imagine. Drive will lead you into places you never thought you'd stand. It will place you at tables you never dreamed you'd sit at. It will give you victories you never thought you'd taste. It will transform you into someone unrecognizable, not because life changed, but because you did. Relentless drive is not a switch you flip on and off. It is a way of life. It is a posture of the heart. It is the decision to wake up every day and choose progress over excuses. It is the choice to keep moving even when your body says stop, to keep believing even when your mind says doubt, to keep fighting even when your spirit says quit. This is the fire that fuels legends. This is the fire that writes history. This is the fire that separates the ordinary from the unforgettable. And the truth is, you already carry this fire inside you. It has been burning quietly, waiting for the moment when you decide to feed it. The question is not whether you have it. The question is whether you will use it. So I say to you, fan the flames, stoke the fire, feed the hunger. Let your drive consume every excuse, every fear, every limitation. Let it carry you where talent alone cannot. Let it lift you where luck cannot. Let it sustain you where comfort cannot. Because in the end, it is not the most gifted that change the world. It is not the luckiest. It is not the smartest. It is the ones who refuse to stop. The ones who choose to keep moving. The ones who decide no matter what to stay relentless. That is the fire of drive. That is what will carry you into the 1%.
Greatness has never been handed out like a free gift. It is not inherited through convenience or stumbled upon by accident. Greatness is forged in the fire of battles that most people refuse to fight. And what separates legends from the ordinary is not that they never faced storms, but that they stood firm when the winds howled and the ground shook beneath them. The truth is, every one of us will face moments that test the very core of who we are. Times when the pain feels unbearable, when the losses feel final, when the weight pressing down on your chest feels too heavy to lift. These are the moments where the weak give up. These are the moments where the average walk away. But these are also the moments where the 1% rise. You see, resilience is not a word, it is a lifestyle. It is the ability to keep standing when life has knocked you flat on your back. It is the decision to wipe the dust off your face and whisper to yourself, I'm still here. It is not about never being broken. It is about refusing to stay broken. The average person sees a setback and declares the journey over. The extraordinary person sees the same setback and declares, this is where I begin again. The average person sees failure as final. The extraordinary see failure as feedback. The average retreats in fear. The extraordinary advance with courage. So let me ask you, what do you do when your plan collapses? What do you do when the dream you held so tightly crumbles in your hands? Do you quit or do you rebuild? Because legends are not remembered for avoiding storms. They are remembered for outlasting them. And storms will come. They always do. You will be betrayed. You will be rejected. You will be misunderstood. You will lose battles. You will fall short of goals. But none of those things define you unless you allow them to. What defines you is what you do after. Standing firm in the battle means learning to endure. It means building a mind that cannot be broken by circumstances. It means developing a heart that beats with courage even when surrounded by fear. It means walking forward with faith when the ground in front of you looks uncertain. Faith is not the absence of fear. Faith is movement in spite of fear. Faith is the decision to keep going when your eyes cannot see the outcome.
Faith is the belief that if you give everything you have, if you refuse to stop, if you refuse to bow, then one day the reward will come. But faith alone is not enough. You must pair it with discipline. Discipline is what keeps you walking when motivation runs dry. Discipline is what drags you out of bed when comfort calls your name. Discipline is what makes you say no to the distractions that look good in the moment but destroy you in the long run. The 1% are not carried by emotion, they are anchored by discipline. Emotions shift with the wind. Discipline stands like a mountain. And in the heat of battle, discipline will be your weapon, your shield, your strength. But let's be honest, it hurts to stand firm. It hurts to keep fighting when you're weary. It hurts to show up when nobody claps. It hurts to keep building when it feels like no progress is being made. Pain is part of the journey, but pain is not your enemy. Pain is your training partner. Pain is the teacher that shapes your character, builds your endurance, and prepares you for victories far greater than you can see right now. The average run from pain. The extraordinary run with pain. They know that today's pain is tomorrow's power. They know that scars are not signs of weakness, but marks of survival. They know that wounds can heal, but only if you keep moving. Standing firm in battle also means refusing to let your environment dictate your destiny. Too many people are trapped because they listen to the wrong voices. They are surrounded by friends who are comfortable with mediocrity, by peers who are satisfied with good enough, by voices that ask the wrong questions. And as long as you surround yourself with average minds, you will live an average life. If you are serious about rising higher, you cannot remain where you are. You cannot be satisfied with comfort zones. You cannot wait for validation from people who don't share your vision. You must be willing to walk alone if necessary. You must be willing to endure loneliness in order to grow. Because the 1% do not wait for the crowd's approval. They walk with conviction. Let me remind you, there is more in you than what you see right now. You may be tired, but you're not finished. You may be hurting, but you're not defeated. You may be weary, but you're not weak. The fact that you are still breathing proves that you still have purpose. And your purpose is bigger than you. Standing firm in the battle is not just about you surviving. It is about those who will be inspired by your survival. It is about the lives that will be changed because you refuse to quit. It is about the people who are dependent on your resilience to light the way for them. So when you feel like giving up, remember this. Your fight is not just for you. Your fight is for generations yet to come. Your fight is for those who will look back one day and say, because they refused to quit, I believed I could keep going too. That is legacy. And legacy is built in the fire of battles that most people walk away from. The 1% understand that life is not about avoiding pain. It is about enduring it, learning from it, and rising through it. They know that true greatness is not found in ease, but in endurance. It is not found in comfort, but in courage. It is not found in quitting, but in continuing. So stand firm. Stand when it hurts. Stand when it's lonely. Stand when it's hard. Stand when nobody else will. Because the moment you refuse to bow, the moment you refuse to quit, the moment you refuse to surrender, you become unstoppable. This is what separates the legends from the ordinary. Not perfection, not privilege, not luck, but the decision to stand in the middle of battle and declare, I will not be moved.
At some point, every man or woman who has ever achieved greatness has stood before this question. Why not me? Why not now? Why not here? For too long, many of you have lived under the weight of doubt, convinced that destiny belongs to someone else. But I am here to tell you, destiny is calling your name. The only thing standing in the way is your decision to believe it. Think of your family line. For generations, cycles have repeated. Poverty recycled, fear recycled, addiction recycled, mediocrity recycled. And then suddenly, a bloodline changes. Suddenly, someone presses a reset button. Suddenly, someone makes the decision that the curse stops here, that the pain ends here, that the weakness breaks here. Why not you? Why can't you be the one to rewrite the story? Why can't you be the one to break the cycles that change your ancestors? Why can't you be the one to rise higher than anyone before you? Why can't you be the one who changes everything for everyone who comes after you? The question is not, can it be done? The question is, will you be the one to do it? Too many people wait for someone else to rise. Too many people wait for a hero to appear. But what if the hero is you? What if you were born for this exact moment in time? What if your calling is to carry the torch forward, to stand as the warrior who refuses to let the chain remain unbroken? Greatness is not handed to you. Greatness is chosen. And if you want to step into it, you must decide with everything inside you. I will not bow to average. I will not settle for less. I will not stop until destiny bows before me. This is not about arrogance. This is about awareness. It is about knowing that you were created for more. It is about embracing the truth that you have been equipped with enough talent, enough grit, enough vision, and enough hunger to reach your promised place. The resources are not missing. The strength is not missing. The opportunity is not missing. Everything you need is already inside you. The only question is, will you use it? And yes, it will cost you. The new life you dream about will cost you the old one. The vision you hold in your mind will cost you comfort. The success you long for will cost you the approval of small-minded people. The destiny you crave will cost you the distractions that keep you bound. But the cost is worth it. Hear me. Change does not come to you. Change comes from you. You are waiting for life to get easier, for the world to open its arms, for opportunities to fall in your lap. That day is not coming. What is coming is the demand that you decide. Decide that you've been stuck long enough. Decide that you've been overlooked long enough. Decide that you've been doubted long enough. Decide that you've been living small long enough. Enough is enough. And when you make that decision, you will see doors open. Not because the world changed, but because you did. When you change, everything around you shifts. When you change, opportunities appear. When you change, the right people come into your life. When you change, favor finds you. But the change begins with you asking yourself, why not me? Why not now? Why not here? Do you want to know why most people quit? Because the pain feels too great. Because the weight feels too heavy, because the fight feels too long. But here's the truth. Pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. Pain eventually passes, but the regret of surrender will follow you for life. So when the fight feels unbearable, whisper these words. Why not me? Why can't I be the one who rises again? Why can't I be the one who gets back up? Why can't I be the one who breaks through? The answer is, you can. And not only can you, but you must, because there are people depending on you. There are generations waiting on you. There are lives tied to your decision. And if you quit, they may never see the light. If you give up, they may never believe it's possible. But if you rise, they will rise with you. If you fight, they will find courage through you. If you win, they will believe they can win too. This is legacy, and legacy is built by those who refuse to quit. The 1% understand that there is no plan B. There is no tomorrow promised. There is only now. There is only today. There is only this moment, and they seize it with everything inside them. So I challenge you, stop weighing, stop doubting, stop hesitating. The time for delay is over. The time for excuses is over. The time for fear is over. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your season. Rise up, take your place, step into the arena. Do not settle for watching others live the life you desire. Do not settle for clapping for others while you stay silent in the stands. Do not settle for scrolling through someone else's victories while ignoring your own potential. It is your turn. Write the vision,
Chase the dream, break the limits, shatter the ceilings, tear down the walls, step into the fullness of who you are. And when doubt whispers in your ear, when fear creeps into your mind, when the crowd says you are not enough, look in the mirror and speak with conviction. Why not me? Why not today? Why not now? Because you are capable, because you are chosen, because you are enough, because destiny has always been waiting for you. At the end of your life, when you look back, what story will you tell? Will you tell the story of a person who bowed to fear? Or will you tell the story of a person who stood tall in the face of storms? Will you tell the story of a quitter? Or will you tell the story of a fighter? Make the decision now. Write the story now. Live the legacy now. Why not you? Why not now? Why not here?